morning, good morning, good morning. Setting up some stuff here. Hold on. There, almost there. Go. Twitch likes to scare me every day. All right. Welcome to Manhood. Today is Friday, some day in the month of February. It's like one of the last days of February, actually, now that I think about it. Very excited to be here. Might be feeling just a tad touch, just a touch tired. Not super tired, just a touch tired. So we're going to do great. I'm making a few adjustments here. Then we'll be ready to go. All right. Good there. And there. All right, we're doing it. Welcome. Welcome to Manhood. We're going through Luke chapter 9 today. Oh, here, let me see something. Luke chapter 9. We're here in the nice place of, what is this called? Volcano Manor as well. And then I've got to go to I should probably go talk to these people first. Hold on. He's not going to be nice to me, though.
We rarely receive visitors. Fascinating. So, talk about the burden
Nope,
of grief
nope,
if you have.
nope,
Rise
nope.
with us.
What happens if I click don't join? Do they fight me to the death?
Your decision is now you
There you
belong.
go.
The drawing room. I am Tanit.
Yay, we did it. All right. Okay, so first off, every day we go through and we list 3 things we're grateful for. So I'm starting with that. Today I am... Hey, look at this. Perfume bottles. Nice. Let's see, what am I grateful for today? There's a lot. We had the owner of our company's mom goes to church with us, and she's just the sweetest lady ever. Don't I know this woman? Is this the...
Pleasure to meet. I am right under Lady Tanith's guidance.
You're not.
Brave Tanith under Lady Tanith's guidance.
Anyway, she brought us meals yesterday.
Brave Tarnished.
It was kind of funny though because she
Tanith's guidance.
brought it into work in the morning, and I didn't notice this, but she just apparently she had cooked it early in the morning. It was like a full-on roast
Brave
that she had cooked really, really early, and she brought it into work, and she left it in my office in like a bag, like a, I don't know, you know what I mean, like a temperature igloo bag kind of thing. And so that was cool. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like frozen, you know. Well, I didn't even notice it until a couple hours in, and then I just like left it sitting there, and then I brought it home, and I realized, no, it wasn't not frozen. It was flat out like just she cooked it. Welcome, Radar de Midgard. Radar? Radar? I think it's radar. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure it's ruined, which is really sad because it looks like a really, really good meal. But I am grateful for her for bringing that to us. But it did sit out for like 7 hours, and I thought it was like frozen or something, and it was not frozen or something. So there's that. My wife might be coming in here. I'm not sure.
Well, I thought you were perhaps playing that, but no.
Not sure.
Consider.
Oh. She may be on her way. We'll see. She might drop off the baby girl in here. What else? I am... This one key works for a lot of rooms. For it being for the drawing room, it works for quite a few drawing rooms. If you're here and you want to throw something you're grateful for in the chat, please do. Massively important. What is this? Oh, is this the guy that we should have talked to when we were in Liurnia or whatever? We did not talk to that guy. Did not. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I get the opportunity today to go and I don't believe that guy. Here. I don't know what that means. Good morning, Bull's mom. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, sorry. I get to go to a men's ministry meeting this morning. Very excited about that. Very thankful for that. And I'm grateful for... What am I grateful for? I gotta find a third thing in my mind. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, I am grateful that we can just like Google search whatever we want. Wow, I got a GG from Radar. Thank you so much, man. Happy to have you. Oh no, I'm getting attacked. Hold on. How long can you hold that for? Ouch. Okay, that felt a little off, but that'll be okay. Yeah, I'm thankful for the ability that we can Google search things. I make use of it a lot. Okay, we're going to be in Luke chapter 9 today. Luke chapter 9 asks a really, really important question that all of us are presented with at one point in our life, which is, oh, thank you for that, Radar. I can do that. That's a good idea. I kind of wanted to try and see if you can parry that wheel thing. But it asks a really, really important question that all of us are faced with, which is Jesus asking, who do you say that I am, right? What is the true identity that you see in me? And we're going to read about that. It'll be great. Hold on. That felt ridiculous. Nope. Didn't work. We'll dual-handed. We'll do what Radar told us to do. So up to this point, people have seen miracles. They've seen power. They've seen authority. But now Jesus kind of takes it personal. And when Simon Peter answers correctly, right, the Christ, Jesus immediately begins talking about suffering and the cross, right? So changing the perspective of what it means for him to be the Messiah. And that's kind of the tension of the chapter, right? There's this combination of power and sacrifice, glory and rejection and suffering, following Jesus and losing your life. And it kind of forces us to wrestle with, like, what are we following Jesus for? And what is our expectations of truly following him? So that's what we're going to be going through. And let's go ahead and do it. We're following his... That seemed off. Not gonna work. Here you go. We did it. There's the Ash of War. All right. How long can you hold that? Way to go, Radar. You told us how to do it. That was awesome. Okay. Luke chapter 9. And he called the 12 together. Ooh, we should use Giza's wheel. He called them together and gave them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases. And he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal. So, I find this interesting. We've just gotten done. They just went across the lake. They've seen his power. They've seen his authority. They've gotten to watch his miracles. They've literally gotten to watch him. Wait, are we in the chapter now where he... Hold on, let me check something. I'm confused on where we are because I can't remember if I read this yesterday, if we're reading it today. Let's see. This is a long chapter, by the way. Did we read yesterday? I think we read yesterday about him raising the young girl from the dead. Or am I confused about that? I think we did. So he's seen that. They've seen his power. They've followed him. He's given them an opportunity to understand like what his authority is and what he's capable of. And now we see this transition starting to happen. What does this do? Nothing. Okay. This transition where he's like, okay, it's time for you to go out. And he doesn't just send them out with like baseline authority, like, hey, go and just in my name speak to people. He literally gives them the power over demons and to cure diseases, so the power of healing and of freedom he sends them out with. And so he really is playing the role of like what a rabbi would play, where people would follow him and then the rabbi would send them out. Okay. And this also gives like the concept of like his kingdom expanding, right? He has now ambassadors going out into the world. So it's becoming larger. We got to roll through all these tables real quick and then we'll get back to reading this. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, we're good to go. We can keep on. So he said to them, take nothing for your journey, no staff, nor bag, nor bread, nor money, and do not have 2 tunics. No need to plan ahead. You don't need to. And whatever house you enter, stay there, and from there depart. And whenever they do not receive you, okay, keep going this way. Whenever they do not receive you, when you leave that town, shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them. What this means, just so we're all on the same page here, I don't know how to actually get to Rykard. Do I have to like actually go and do this thing to get there?
The letter, that is the task. The volcano. You will be compensated once the deed. If you are loath to hunt your own kin, but you must leave this house at once. This is a war. We have no place for them.
All right, I think I do. The new map has been found. Look at that. Okay. I feel like they usually do it over here, right? Is it this? This one right there. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. You can look for the entrance yourself. Oh, okay. I don't know where the entrance is. All right. Okay, so he says, shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them. Here's what I'll say about this. So this was a known act, and the concept here is to showcase that they are literally not leaving any speck remaining of this town, because the expectation is that God's full wrath and judgment is going to fall on them, and so they don't even want an aspect of the dust from the town on their feet. That is what this is essentially like showcasing here. Is when you shake the dust off your feet, it's like, listen, I don't want even a particle of this town connected to me, because you've rejected salvation and you are fully open for whatever wrath that God brings upon you. And so for any that didn't accept, that was the concept, is like the symbolic gesture of like your death be on your own head, your wrath be on your own head, kind of a thing. And they departed and went through the villages, preaching the gospel and healing everywhere. Now, Herod the Tetrarch heard about all that was happening. I'm probably going to get distracted here. And he was perplexed, because it was said by some that John had been raised from the dead. You don't remember? Nope, that didn't work. There we go, we got it. If you don't remember, all right, hey, have a good day, Radar. I appreciate you being here, man. Herod is the one who had John the Baptist killed. Goodness, that was scary. So when he hears, hey, there's this guy out here doing all this crazy stuff. Oh man, I should let him do that. Oh, that was terrible. Hold on. Oh, I didn't actually rest. There's a guy out here doing all this stuff, and he's like, oh. And then he starts hearing, this must be John the Baptist come back. And there would be definite fear there, right? All right, 1 second. All right, we're good to go. By some, that Elijah had appeared. We did it. And by others, that one of the prophets of old had risen. And so he's feeling the sense of like guilt and the sense of insecurity of if this guy comes back, I have not. Oh, wow, cool. Got some armor. That's sweet. I appreciate it. Ascertained faith. It sounds like you're doing a similar thing here, huh? Okay. Herod said, John I beheaded, but who is this about whom I hear such things? And he sought to see him. So I wanted to bring him into his presence. On their return, the apostles told him all that they had done, and he took them and withdrew apart to a town called Bethsaida. Okay, so when the crowds learned it, they followed him, and he welcomed them and spoke to them of the kingdom of God and cured those who had need of healing. So he's going around everywhere doing this. Do I have to go back to Volcano Man, or do I just go to the next spot? I don't know how that works. I don't know. We're going back. I don't see anyone. I think we're going to go back. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now the day began to wear away, and the 12 came to him and said, send the crowd away to go into the surrounding villages and countryside to find lodging and get provisions, for we are here in a desolate place.
You've completed. I am pleased.
Mm-hmm.
This is your reward.
Oh, I didn't know they gave us cool stuff.
That the way is tainted is the truth.
Do I have to get another one?
You are a recusant true. I am pleased. Now you are I am pleased.
Okay. Let's go back into this room real quick and see. What build would I recommend for a beginning player? Well, I'm not sure I'm the guy to do that. This is like the most, other than like a strength giant club build, this like Dex Faith thing with this Bloodhound's Fang is like the most like basic build ever. Because essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to read the Bible while playing this game. That would be crazy. Don Juan, a Souls game with Bible stories. Souls games are actually extremely reflective of just the concept of the gospel as a whole. That's what I've always noticed is like you're somebody traveling through a land full of people who seem alive but are dead. The aspect of like going hollow, of our soul being dead but us being in technicality alive. Now it's a little different because instead of going and spreading the good news and bringing life, you were in essence just killing all of them over and over again. But there's some reflective things there. So it's somewhat similar. I don't know where this thing is. I do the dual. Mac asks what's a better dex weapon. I do the dual Uchigatanas. Oh, is that it right there? Let's go over there. Okay. So we're at a desolate place. Jesus says, you give them something to eat. And they said, we have no more than 5 loaves and 2 fish unless we are to go and buy food for all these people. For there were about 5,000 men there. Now, really, really, really important case in this conversation. Is it down in the hole? I don't know how to get down in that hole. Maybe here. 5,000 men means they're not counting the women and the children. So we're not talking about 5,000 total people. We're talking probably closer to like 10 to 20,000 people, depending on how many children were there. Because usually the women would be with the men. So this is a massive, massive number of people. Okay, for there were about 5,000 men, and he said to the disciples, "Have them sit down in groups of about 50 each." And they did so, and had them all sit down. And taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and said a blessing over them. Then he broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples and set them before the crowd. So this is coming right off the heels of us reading about him being greater than Elijah and Elisha. He heals the young girl by just saying, "Rise and get up." And I still feel I'm losing track of time, so I feel like I'm actually getting ahead of myself, and that's in the future. But remind me, I'm pretty sure we read that yesterday. So he's greater than Elijah. He's greater than Elisha because he's able to just command this to happen. And then what we see here is something that's very reflective of the manna in the wilderness, right? Back in the Old Testament, the Israelites are out in the wilderness, and they cry out for food. They're hungry in a desolate place. And Moses prays, and then, what is this? Sweet. Blood blade. Sounds dark. Moses prays, and then God sends down manna from heaven for them, right? So this is something where Moses cries out, and God responds. Elijah cries out. What is that thing? Oh, that looks scary. Elijah cries out, and God responds and raises the girl from the dead. Elisha cries out. He lays on the young girl. The same thing happens, or the young boy. I can't remember if it's the young boy. They pray. They lay on top of them, head to head, foot to foot, and then God responds to their prayers. There's 2 of them. And then we see Jesus, when he goes and raises the girl, he just grabs her hand and says, "Get up," right? This proclamation that he is greater than these prophets of old. And now we see this reflective story of the healing of these people, feeding of the people. Massive number, similar to what we see in the Old Testament with them in the wilderness. And rather than him having to cry out and God having to send food, rather he just commands, he blesses the people, he gives thanks for the food, breaks it, and hands it out, right? So this is, once again, an elevation of he's greater than the prophets. Once again, an elevation of, hey, he's greater than Moses. These patriarchs, these people that you all look up to, Jesus is showcasing through these miracles that he is a different tier. He is something different. He is the Messiah. Is it using 2 of them? Oh, it is. Okay. It better be worth it. Old Alta's Tunnel. Okay. What else do we got here? All right. Okay. And they all ate and they were satisfied, and there was leftover, and what was left over was picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces. So this is now showcasing that Christ, what Christ supplies is overabundant, right? We've got between 10 to 20,000 people sitting there. That's an estimation, right? 5,000 men that we know of. And then we've got a leftovers after everyone has eaten to their fill, right? So what Christ brings, what Christ supplies, what he provides is far more than we actually need, right? Which is huge. All right. Now it happened that he was praying alone. Every single time this comes up, because it comes up over and over and over and over again, I restate, we see this consistently and regularly, that Jesus needs to separate, get on his own, and pray to the Father, and he himself is God. There's a mystery there. But in the same way, you and I need to separate, get away, and pray to our Father. It's massively important. If Jesus needed it, we absolutely need it. Hold on. Okay. I gotta see if I gotta pray for my buddy. All right. Now it happened he was praying alone. The disciples were with him, and he asked them, "Who do the crowds say that I am?" And they answered him. Some say John the Baptist, but others say Elijah, and others, one of the prophets of old has risen. And then he said to them, "But who do you say I am?" And Peter answers him, "The Christ of God." So Peter's proclaiming here, I understand actually who you are. I believe you to be the Christ, right? And Okay, so what does Jesus say to him? Sorry, I'm on a page over. I'm going to go over one. And he strictly charged him and commanded them to tell this to no one, saying, the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected by the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised. So upon Peter's proclamation of who Christ is, we see something really, really unique, right? He commands them, don't tell anyone. And one of the things that if y'all aren't aware of what the expectation was of the people of Israel, it was that the Messiah was going to come, and was going to come in like a mighty conquest, like a warring king, similar to like Saul, David, the kings of old, and bring freedom, just physical freedom, to the people of Israel, right? So he would come and take them out of their captivity. Right now, they are literally stuck in captivity of the Roman government. And so this is, in their mind, and I don't want to get hit by that. Just give me a second. So they're looking for this, and so he tells him, hey, do not tell anyone what you just said. Don't share it. Because there's this false expectation of what I'm going to do. And we see this even in the actual disciples themselves, of what they think he's coming to do versus what he's going to do. And then he completely flips the script in the story, right? So he's sitting there and he's like, hey, y'all, you're correct in what you say, and I'm thankful that like God has revealed this to you, but keep it to yourself, because you have an expectation that I'm going to come in power and glory here on this earth, in this life, take a kingship, remove the religious and governing authorities that are abusing what they're doing, and make you guys physically free. And I'm actually here to do far more than that. I'm here to free the slaves and those who are dead, bring them back to life spiritually, and provide a path for all men to come to God, right? It's different. And he explains, I must suffer many things, right? And this connects to what he says here, that connects directly to Isaiah 53, which says, who has believed what he has heard from us, and whom has the arms of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up before him a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by man, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and he was esteemed not. Surely he has borne our griefs, he has carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. And so Jesus is opening the lid of like what's actually happening here, and explaining, hey, this is not going to be what you're expecting it to be. Right? He says, I'm going to be rejected by the elders and chief priests and be killed. He flat out tells them, I'm going to die. And we're in chapter 9. Bear in mind, like we've got until like what, chapter 19. So this is early on, or there's still quite a bit of time to pass before we get to the point of this happening. And he's letting them know, hey, this is not going to go how you imagined it to. And so, hold on, which way do I go? What's over here? Be wary of dog. You need to pull out this magma thing real quick. 1 second. There we go. And then he says he'll be raised. And he said to them all, if you would come after me, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. So far before we see any element of him going to the cross, he tells them straight up, if you want to follow me, you're going to have to take up your cross to do that. Excuse me. All right. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake, he will find it. Sweet. This is a big area. Paid a lot of money to get in here, too. Hold on. Watch this. Parkour. All right. What does it profit a man if he gains the world, yet loses or forfeits himself? For whoever is ashamed of me and of my words, of him the Son of Man will be ashamed when he comes in his glory, and the glory of the Father and of the holy angels. But I tell you truly, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the kingdom of God. Now, there are two ways to look at that. One of which is just the concept of him dying and being raised, right? And we'll leave it at that. Actually, that's one of the key ways to see it. They want to see the kingdom of God coming. Now, about 8 days after these sayings, he took with him Peter and John and James and went up on the mountain to pray. And as he was praying, the appearance of his face was altered and his clothing became dazzling white. So we're getting to see the graciousness to the apostles to be able to showcase, hey, they've been given power. He's literally told them that he is the Messiah. And now he's bringing them with him to reconfirm this identity, to continue to keep faith in them and keep faith high in them. And behold, two men were talking with him, Moses and Elijah, who appeared in glory and spoke of his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. So we're seeing a total shift, right? The apostles are given just enough time to... Oh my goodness, no. Just enough time to understand who he is, his power. Then they're given the authority. Then we see like, oh my, I don't like dogs, man. In this game, I don't like dogs in this game. And then they're sent out, and then we see immediately there's this shift and transition of him moving from just going and speaking his word to planning and preparing for what he's actually come here to do. So he's speaking to Moses and Elijah of his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. You'll also see, like, Luke calls out uniquely here that Jesus was out to pray when this transfiguration happens, which I find interesting as well, because the others I don't think call that out. That's what he was there for. All right. Oh, the other thing is Moses and Elijah appear, right? So the last couple of chapters, we've been seeing him establish himself through miracles as greater than both. And then what we also see, which I find interesting, is Moses represents the law. Elijah represents the prophets. So we've got this moment where Moses and Elijah are coming in representing both the law and the prophets, and Jesus came to fulfill the law and fulfill the prophets. And now the disciples or the apostles are getting to see this kind of culmination of all of these things in one place. So we've got the king, the prophet, and the law all being fulfilled kind of in one moment, in one spot, symbolically. All right. Now, Peter and those who were with him were heavy with sleep. But when they became fully awake, they saw his glory and the two men who stood with him. And as the men were parting from him, Peter said to Jesus, Master, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah, not knowing what he said. So the dude's just trying to be helpful in some way, because I don't know if any of us would know what to do in that situation. So he's just like, hey, let me make you guys some tents to live in. Oh, look at this. Hold on. Oh, hello. All right, we got it. Oh, they're all coming over now. We're probably toast. No, we're not. We're good. Oh, don't do that. Come here. Okay, we did it. I feel really good about that. I didn't like this, though. I gotta get out of this room real quick. Re-engage. Okay. So, and as he was saying these things, oh, he's trying to hit me with this. Okay. All right, there we go. As he was saying these things, a cloud came and overshadowed them. So a cloud comes out of the blue. and they were afraid. Oh, he's dead. Okay. They were afraid as they entered the cloud, and a voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my son, my chosen one. Listen to him." And when he spoke, when the voice had spoken, Jesus was found alone. So cloud rolls in, voice speaks, and when it parts, it's just them with Jesus there again. And they kept silent and told no one in those days anything of what they had seen. And on the next day, when they had come down from the mountain, a great crowd met him. And behold, a man from the crowd cried out, "Teacher, I beg you to look at my son, for he is my only child." And behold, a spirit seized him, and he suddenly... Oh, a spirit seizes him. He's still speaking, sorry. Behold, a spirit seizes him, and he suddenly cries out. It convulses him so that he foams in the mouth and shatters him and will hardly leave him. And I begged your disciples to cast it out, but they could not. Really, really interesting here. They've been given all authority to do this work. These dogs, man. They've been given this authority. Wow, that's cool. A little hammer. And yet, there's immediately this moment afterward in the same chapter where this man comes in and he's like, "Hey, your disciples couldn't do this. They didn't actually fulfill what you said they would do." And Jesus answered, "O faithless and twisted generation, how long am I to be with you and bear with you? Bring your son here." And while he was coming, the demon threw him to the ground and convulsed him. But Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit and healed the boy and gave him back to his father. I think key piece here in my mind. What's over here? It looks like there's something back there. Is that they're given this initial authority, but it's key, right? That like the authority is not what matters. This is kind of like when we were reading in 1 Samuel, and they bring the Ark of the Covenant of God out on the battlefield in hopes that it helps them to win the war, right? So rather than actually seeking God, pursuing Him, and holding to Him, they are trying to utilize the strength that He's given outside of Him. And I take that as what we're seeing and learning here is similar. It's like, yes, they have this authority, but it's important that what they're maintaining and holding to is Christ and His power, right? Not that they have this strength on their own. Oh, hello. We're just gonna keep hitting him until it's over. There we go, we got him. They've got to maintain this relationship with Christ and hold on to His authority and His power, because He's the one that's actually completing this for them. There are so many hidden pack ahead. Back out this. Oh, it didn't switch it. All right, let's go. Okay. And all were astonished at the majesty of God. But while they were all marveling at everything He was doing, Jesus said to His disciples, "Let these words sink into your ears. The Son of Man is about to be delivered into the hands of men." But they did not understand the saying, and it was concealed from them so they may not perceive it. And they were afraid to ask Him about the saying. So they didn't understand, and they still would not ask. An argument arose among them, excuse me, as to which of them was the greatest. But Jesus, knowing the reasoning of their hearts, took a child and put him by his side. So these guys are not understanding the context of like Jesus' character or what He's doing. And they're still sitting there with this wrong mentality, even after He says that He must be delivered into the hands of the religious authorities to be killed and raised on the third day. They're clearly not understanding what He means by any of that, because they're literally being like, "Hey, which of us is the greatest?" Right? And He said to them, "Whoever receives this child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives Him who sent me. For he who is the least among all of you is the one who is great." And John answered, Master, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he does not follow with us. But Jesus said to him, do not stop him, for the one who is not against you is for you. This is also interesting, counter opposite to what we hear today, and like even in our culture as a saying. We hear, if you're not for us, you're against us. And Jesus says the opposite. If you're not against us, you're for us. Right? If he's going around and speaking in my name, why would you stop him? And when the days drew near for him to be taken up, he set his face to go to Jerusalem. So this is like a key little moment here, right? Where this signals like a determined mission towards the cross, right? And we're still in chapter 9. We have to go into like chapter 19 to see this to fruition. But there is this moment of he is preparing to go forward and do this thing, and he sets his face toward Jerusalem. So this is a transitional moment. We're not just doing standard everyday ministry. There is an active directive toward the cross. And refocusing, right? Everything from here on out is like this focus to, hey, we're heading to the cross. The focus is the cross. The focus is this redemption, this focus here. We're moving away from just like reworking how you understand the law, reworking all this stuff. This is directly now focused on Jerusalem and on the cross as a sacrifice and where Jesus is headed. And so he sets his face to go to Jerusalem. And he sent messengers ahead of him who went and entered a village of the Samaritans. Samaritans are people who were of the... Okay. Let's see. People who are of the... essentially, they're at least part of the people of Israel. By that I mean like part, like blood part, like they usually have gone with foreigners, married foreigners, done that kind of thing. And so they were looked down upon because the people of Israel were very much, hey, we stay within our line of people, within the people of Israel. But they go into the village of the Samaritans to make preparations for him, but the people did not receive him because his face was set toward Jerusalem. They are not happy with Jerusalem. And when his disciples, James and John, saw it, they said, Lord, do you want us to tell fire to come down from heaven and consume them? These guys are literally called the sons of thunder, and you can kind of see here why. There's like an element of like complete and utter zeal with possibly a lack of maturity and a lack of understanding of like who Jesus is, because they're like, hey, should we just have all these people killed, you know? Oh, what should I do here? Hold on. There's something I can throw, like a fire pot. Ouch. Okay, well, that didn't work at all. I mean, he is a bad one. We gotta do something real quick. We're gonna die. Ouch. Ooh. We got the wrong weapons for this fight. Do this. Maybe we don't. I didn't realize he had blood. Okay, we did it. That was super easy. Never mind. Hey, thanks for following, Grim Grizzly. Ooh, a great club. We should switch to a cool, like, strength gameplay. Be fun. All right. Oh, Village of Samaritans. Hey, do you want us to burn them all alive? But he turned and rebuked them, and they went to another village. And as they were going along the road, someone said to him, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. And another said, Follow me. And to another he said, follow me. But he said, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. And Jesus said to him, leave the dead to bury their own dead. But as for you, go and proclaim the kingdom of God. Yet another said, I will follow you, Lord, but let me first say farewell to those at my home. And Jesus said to him, no one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. These are very drastic statements to be made, right? These are massive, like these are just extremely hard statements to follow. But one of the things that really stands out to me as I'm reading this is Jesus is now at this moment separating the element of, okay, I need left. This concept that you can just lightly follow him, and showcasing that there is something much, much, much more severe about following Jesus Christ in reality. Right? It's like if you're not actually willing to leave all this stuff behind, if you're not willing to be without home, if you're not willing to be without the luxuries of your life, or saying farewell to all those around you, it's like, hey, there is something severe that happens when we're made a new creation in Christ. And I'm not saying you can't go and have a funeral for your father. Don't misread that. But the point he's making here is symbolically like severe, which is, hey, if you're not ready to leave this world behind to follow me, you can't do it, right? This is more than just, I'm not coming in the way that you thought I was coming into power. This is different. I'm coming into power in a way of, hey, you sacrificing everything to come and follow me. You being a completely different creation, a completely different creature. Gotta figure out where I'm going. This way? Let's try jumping up this thing. See where this takes us. Okay. Is there a way over here? Or is it, I think this is just where it came from, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. What is this? This is the way. We did it. Didn't expect. Oh, is that people falling from to their death? Oh, it's this guy probably. Probably should have sat down and healed. I'm not gonna have enough heals for this, but we'll fight him real quick. Oh, I didn't switch my weapon. Like when Gid tested Abraham regarding sorry. I see what you're saying. Like when God tested Abraham regarding Isaac. Yeah, I think that's a good example. I think that's also, whoops. Oh, he's throwing stuff. Or is that a bow? Nope. I'm stuck in a corner. I can't move. And I have Scarlet Rot. Yep, that didn't work out. Yeah, I think that's a great one. That's also extremely reflective of Jesus about that. It's all good. I call my son's name is Gideon, and I call him Gid all the time. So I was trying to read that as Gideon when you wrote that. Yeah, I think that's an excellent example. Okay. Life application here. A couple of things that stood out to me. Oh, we put right back on it. That's cool. Life application. One of the things that stands out to me is kingdom authority comes with dependence, right? They're given total authority to cast out demons, and yet somehow they're not able to do it. And we see that. I think we can see that in our own life as well. Is like, are we truly dependent on Christ, or are we existing within some element of our perceived authority of His freedom, without truly relying on Him? And that can lead to a lot of pain in our own life if we're not careful. Look at that. Thanks for following, Blades. Oh, hold on. Okay. Hey, we got him. That was easy. Okay. Second. One of the things that I think can stand out is like correct belief must lead to like a true surrender. When we look at like Peter, he has a correct understanding, but I think that we're going to see here in the future, like struggling with the cost of truly following God, what it means to truly follow Christ. And so it's one thing, like even it strikes me that the demons proclaim the same identity that Peter does in this chapter, but the demons don't. They don't actually like surrender to Christ, and there's a difference there. So just understanding the nature of a being, right? Understanding that hey, Jesus was real, only takes us so far, right? That like it's a good start, it's a great start. But I mean, even the demons who are possessing the people and tormenting them believe that. Right? They know that to be true, and they cry out saying, "Don't torment us." But there's no element of surrendering to him. It's just a fear of what he's going to do to them. All right. Let's see what else. Oh, greatness in God's kingdom doesn't look like the way that we imagine it to, right? This is not some sort of like prosperity gospel. This is not something where it's like, hey, everything's going to go flawlessly for you. You're going to have power. You're going to have authority. You're going to have money. You're going to be taken care of. It's like, no. What Jesus regularly and consistently proclaims and exclaims is that, hey, those who are going to follow me need to be prepared for absolute humility, for something to be perceived as shame. And we look at what ends up happening with the apostles after Jesus leaves this earth and goes and takes his throne. And man, every single one of them are killed, right? I'm pretty sure that's like all of them are martyred, or at least the vast majority of what we know of. They're tortured, and we see even in Acts and these things, they're praising God for. Do I not want to go that way? I want to find an area to rest. What does this say? Hold on. Lug City. We'll go down there. See how it goes. But it looks very different. We need to be ready for persecution, for being hated, you know. Who's going live? Bull just went live. Bull's mom, you got to go over and watch your son. Nice. Okay. Oh, also, following Jesus requires total commitment. That's one of the final things. That's one of the final things he talks about is it's like, hey, I'm not looking for some sort of partial following from you. I want some total commitment from you and only me. This feels like I was going to say, this feels like an area where a boss is going to be. Oof. Oh, what's this guy? Is he against me? I can't tell. Nope, get him. He is. Will this guy kill him? Hold on. I don't think he's damaging that guy. He's only damaging me. Oh, goodness. All right, one second. Everyone calm down. Okay, we're good. It's not okay now. Okay, we did it. Great job, everybody. It's great to be here. Ant spur rapier. This looks like a hole. It's not. Don't lie to me. Doing that. We're not doing that. I do think that like everything kind of wires down to one thing, and it's changing. It's changing his people's perspective on who he is and what his purpose and role is. And I think that it's much easier to follow someone when you know that they're going to rise to an authority and power that you can then point to and ride the coattails of, which I think was the hope of a lot of the people. Right? He's going to rise in authority and power, He's going to lift us up, take care of us. And the reality is, their true shackles, they perceived as some sort of external physical thing, something that was holding them, something like in the religious authority or the governing authority that was holding them back, and they just needed to be set free from it. And in reality, every aspect of their shackle was internal, right? We were spiritually dead. Who cares about our physical position if we're spiritually dead and heading toward God's wrath and judgment? And so Christ turns this on its head, and it's like, hey, I'm not here to take away this, or to take a physical throne here on earth and just make you blind to your actual problems, right? Uh-oh. We lost connection. I don't know. I think we might be back. We lost connection for a second. But he's not here to like make you blind to your like spiritual ailment because now everything's taken care of physically and you can feel good and feel okay about everything. It's like, no, he's here to, I gotta fix this 1 second. He's here to truly fix the internal part of you so that regardless of what's happening externally, we're taken care of, right? And I think that's the difference is like we've been set free to a point. You see this with the apostles at the end as well. We see that, hey, they've been set free and now they are totally prepared to go to the death for their faith and their belief. Right. Now they're totally prepared to lose everything for the sake of their, for the sake of who God is in their life, you know. Anyway, it's so different, and I love it, and it's huge. Oh no! Hold on. Now we're poisoned. I gotta find a. I gotta find a place to sit down. You know what I mean? Watch this. Okay, there's a lot of slugs. We did it. Oh, hello. Man. Terrifying. Hold on. Make this real quick and then we'll get back into it. Ouch. Okay. We're moving on. Not gonna work. Oh, there's another one here. Makes me upset. All right, tomorrow morning we'll be here more normal time. It'll be 6:30 a.m. Central. And we'll go through Luke chapter 10. A lot of good stuff there. If anyone has any prayer requests, let me know. I'm more than happy to say them. I don't even have to take my hat off today, so it'll be great. These are more annoying than anything. Thanks for being here, Fool's Mama. I enjoy this. It's good. Come here. We did it. Feel good about that. Okay. I feel like there's going to be someone I need to parry in this area. Nope, I died to him. Okay. All right, it's time. I got to go and head out to a meeting. But hope you guys have a good day. Keep Christ the center focus of your life. Stay in step with the Spirit. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30. And probably be, wow, I'm way far back. We'll probably be fighting Riker tomorrow, would be my presumption, as long as everything goes according to plan. So with that, love you all. Goodbye. Peace out. See you tomorrow.